Karva Chauth is an Indian holiday, but you probably guessed that by the name. That's the thing about Indian words, and Indian things, and Indian people. Mother India owns them forever and ever, no matter where they go, or where they're born, or the color of the skin they wear. Inside, they are of the land, and it's recognizable. I'm half Indian. If I was a cat, you would call me a moggy. As it is, I suppose I'm a half-breed. But that's not something you would say if you were India. No, if you were Mother India, you would say I was your daughter. And that was that. I celebrate Indian holidays. They are beautiful and complex. And as a child, my dad would say to enjoy them however I wanted, because everyone was celebrating something different. And that was the glorious thing about it all. You see, India is vast, and the stories and mythologies, they're different wherever you are. The reason a cow maiden from northern India fasts today might be entirely different from why a doctor in East India takes her fast today. Karva Chauth is a day of fasting for married women. The simplest version is that we fast for our man. We focus our blessings on them in hopes that, no, in faith that our sister moon will hear us. I say us because I was a wife, and I've fasted on this day for years. Oh, there's this whole feminist argument around the whole tradition. Both sides equally loud, but I've always found beauty in the ceremony, and I find beauty in it even today, even though I'm no longer a wife. Even though I cringe against the label of widow, but then I've always loved India and her holidays, and I've always loved the moon. This morning, I did a quick online search to explain to my friends who did not grow up with women holding Karva what this day was all about. I came up with 100 different stories. And none at a glance was the one I was raised on, of course. I don't know what the right story is, or if there is a right story, but I wanted to tell you about a queen that I learned about a long time ago. You see, her husband, the king, he was normally a good and kind king. It's what he was known for. But one day, I don't remember why exactly. I guess he was having an off day. But he went out walking, and he shunned a beggar. This is, of course, like a big fairy tale no-no, and caused a total catastrophe, because the beggar ended up being a witch with hugely magical powers, and she was very angry. So she filled the king with hundreds and hundreds of pins, and every doctor in the land came to try to help, because he was a good man. But every time they tried to remove a pin, no matter how they did it, another 5 appeared. They were making it worse very quickly. So they stopped. And they told the queen that there was nothing that she could do. The queen was not the sort of woman to hear that and take it at face value. And she loved her husband very, very much. So in distress, she went to the sister of her heart, the most powerful sister she had, the moon. She begged the moon and she said, "Please save him." And the moon asked if she loved this man, and she said yes. And the moon said, "Do you love him enough to clear away all the trappings of the world so that I can look into your heart and see your love with my own eyes?" And the queen said yes. So she kept her promise to the moon, and she stayed outside, and she fasted, and she waited patiently to have a heart clear enough for the moon to see right through. And as each hour passed, handfuls of pins fell out of the king's body until a full day had gone by. And when the moon rose again, she looked on her sister queen and she saw the love, and she thought, well, that is a beautiful thing. And she healed the king, just like that. The lesson is, of course, that there are many dark things in the world, and there are many people who wear shiny crowns, and there are times when action is rewarded only with more of the same trouble that caused you to take action to begin with. And in those moments, it's best to trust in the things that are most powerful of all, like stillness and sisterhood and the moon. So for years, like the fabled queen, I laid my heart bare for my sister in the sky. I fasted on Karva Chauth for my husband. And it's hard. It's hard to break traditions that lasted so long, but then the loss of this one is not any harder to bear than the loss of a smaller one, like drinking out of a Slurpee that only has one straw. It is just something different. Because even though I was sacrificing to bless his path, it was never about him. It was about being a daughter of India, and a sister of stars, and a bearer of love that can be seen through the brightest daylight and the darkest nights. Happy Karva Chauth. May our sister moon hear all the loving blessings of your heart song tonight. And may all the people you love be blessed with a long and wonderful and happy life.